Oh, well, sorry.
Pat in my pocket.
We're getting online here, and we should be able to invite her into this.
Okay. David? Close that door.
The last time we were on March was March of 2020. It was the week before we shut down. Yeah, it was the 11th. Yeah, it was March 11th.
Well, we read on
Greenville?
Yep, Greenville.
We're a little rusty with that.
everybody
Yeah,
names
Yeah,
Greenville.
last time we were here would be fall of 19.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
It is good to be back. Are we ready?
Since everybody's ready, just we'll kick it off live.
Yeah, we are ready. It's 4 o'clock. We're ready.
We'll do that through the caption.
She doesn't have her school computer, so she said that might be her issue. She forgot it, right? So she's using the work camp.
And I don't have a computers. Let me work. She can follow along from the website. And she wants that to log in.
But she wouldn't be able to do it.
She can see all the attachments and stuff in this session, and you guys can be able to talk to her.
Yeah, that's what I said. She just wouldn't be able to vote.
She doesn't vote that way. We don't do it when the computers are fixed.
Jody's trying to
I'm
connect.
trying to get her
Okay.
connected.
Okay.
Go and text her. She has got an invite.
Will it let you send it to the cell phone?
Send to her PCOE. email.
Just wants to start.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to roll.
Okay. We have four.
I will watch if she
Okay.
gets into the way.
Okay, thank you. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the PCOE PUSD board meeting. I am calling the meeting to order. Please join me in the flag salute. Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Helen?
Here.
Edlund? Here. Klein? Here. Bolt? Here. Reed? Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is the approval of the PCOE and PUSD agenda. I do have a slight change.
Sorry.
For item number 9C, which is on the agenda is resolution 1611. It actually should be 1612. If I could have a motion for the amendment.
Move to approve the amendment.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Jolene. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, now I need an approval for the amended agenda.
So
Thank you, Leslie. Second. Thank you, Jolene. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, next item on the agenda is our presentations for this afternoon. So we have two students on the agenda this evening. It's my understanding, Mr. Corey, that Autumn is not here this afternoon. Okay. I still would like to say a little bit just to recognize her since she was on the agenda. Okay. So normally, for those of you that don't know, what we normally do is we do a feature every single month. We feature two students, one from the elementary school and one from the high school. And Autumn Tognati, who's a 6th grader at Chester L. I was just telling my fellow board members, I remember when Miss Crowther started teaching and she was pregnant with Autumn. So I'm like, wow, this is like, time goes by fast. But she was our recipient for the elementary, but she could not be here this evening. So we want to say congratulations to Autumn for that. So next we have for the high school, Mr. Andreessen. Can I introduce Tisa? Thank you.
Our principal's recognition award at this meeting goes to Tisa Jansen. I am brand new here. Tisa, why don't you come up so everybody can see who you are and say some good things about you. I'm brand new to Chester, and one of the things that I noticed as I came in, I was moving into my office even before school started. I would see this person running around campus, doing things, getting things ready, working on billboards, doing other things. And I'm like, who is that? And I was like, well, that's Tisa. So she's just done a wonderful job, and she continues to do a wonderful job. She's been here in Chester since 4th grade. She loves the outdoors. She works with the outdoor program as a 6th grade counselor with the outdoor program. She also is in yearbook and leadership and does a great job in both of those classes. I asked after graduation, she plans on probably going to FRC and pursuing a career in elementary education. And to prepare for that, her senior project this year is going to be working with TK kids at the elementary school with Miss Bainbridge. So we're excited to have that happen. I went and I talked to several of her teachers and I asked them, can you just describe for me in just 1 or 2 words, can you describe Tisa for me? These are the things that we heard. Very involved, team player, super nice, leads by example, reliable, hardworking, trustworthy, kind, most responsible, hardworking, resilient student I have known. Values education. Those are the things that her teachers said about her, and though I have only had a chance to know her for a short while,
Okay, Tisa, it's time you get to come up and get to shake all our board members' hands. We haven't done this in a long time. Yeah, come around the back so you don't trip over the cords. All right. Next item on the agenda is our teacher feature. Camille McNeil. Good afternoon.
I'm going to read what I wrote. So my name is Camille McNeil, and I'm the new CTE instructor for CHS. I teach careers in personal finance, food and nutrition, leadership, ASB, desktop publishing, work experience, and computer applications. I've been an employee of Plymouth Unified since 2018, and I started at the elementary school as a paraeducator, and then I came over to the high school in 2019 as the PE program aide, a paraeducator, and the librarian. I've actually been a part of the Plymouth Unified family since 2006, when my oldest son started kindergarten at CES. He graduated from Chester here in 2020. My youngest son is also a freshman here at CHS this year. I'm very excited to be a part of the CTE program because I wholeheartedly feel that these are some of the most important classes for our students to take. Career-based classes and skills for everyday life are invaluable, and many students are not on the four-year college path. And even if they are, they need the skills in everyday workplace to help support themselves and in some cases pay for school. Being able to leave high school with a diploma and possible certifications and skills can give them a big boost towards their future goals. I myself am a product of CTE. I graduated from high school almost 30 years ago in 1993, and I came from not a stable home life and was forced to be out on my own at the young age of 17. I knew in my junior year that my minimum wage job of $5.25 an hour at the mall wasn't going to support me after graduation. I also knew the kindness of the families that were housing me would run out after graduation, and I'd be on my own with no safety net. In the end of my junior year, I stumbled upon a career day at school, and they matched me up with a dental assisting program. My school allowed me in my senior year to participate in the program off campus 3 days a week. So I worked 40 hours a week at the mall. I went to high school, and I worked toward getting my dental assistant certification. At graduation, I left high school with my diploma, my dental assistant certification, a CPR license, and I also received an X-ray license from Cabrillo College in Santa Cruz. The day I graduated, my mentor offered me a full-time dental assisting position in his new practice at more than double the minimum wage. I knew that I was on my way to becoming a licensed professional, and by 1997, I passed my state board exam and was officially a registered dental assistant. In 2004, I started working here in Chester at a local office of the amazing Dr. Brad Nord, and he had a successful career here in Chester for 40 years. While working for Dr. Nord, I learned the business end of running a practice, insurance billing, coding, accounts receivable and payable, and just general office and patient management. I worked for Dr. Nord for 15 years until his retirement, and his knowledge has been very invaluable. So, a product of CTE. When COVID hit his senior year of 2020, he was bound and determined to just drop out of school altogether. He wasn't a very good student in high school because he's very mechanical, hands-on learner. So sitting in a classroom was torturous for him. COVID was the perfect excuse for him just to forget about the school thing. But with tough love and help from this amazing staff at CHS, he finished his senior project and graduated with this class. Last summer during the Dixie Fire, we had to deal with all of that, and he was working a seasonal job on the West Shore of Almanor and was abruptly left with no job and no place to stay. His self-esteem was at an all-time low, and he was so lost, especially watching his parents try to navigate every possible outcome. Thankfully, Chester was saved, and we all came home as a family, but Colin had some very serious decisions to make. He's an avid lover of the outdoors, dirt biking and snowmobiling, and seeing the woods that raised him burned down was very devastating for him. He reflected on his senior project and the work that his mentor did land here. And he decided that's exactly what he was meant to do. A phone call was made and they hired him on the spot. And he has now been working for Diversified Resources at Chester for over a year. He runs heavy equipment and does fuels reduction and land management. And he even went and fought the Dixie Fire in Old Station. We're so proud. The spark in his spirit has returned. I get so emotional about it. And he's well on his way in his career. So thank you, CHS, the CHS staff, and the amazing senior project, because he really is a true success story of that program. So my hope this year is to share my experiences with the students and lead by example to help them understand no matter where they have chosen, no matter what path they have chosen, that learning and growing doesn't end in your senior year of high school. You may change your mind many times, and every layer of new skills acquired can lead you down many roads that you're passionate about. I think I'm on my third career now. When I was a little girl, I used to say, when I grow up, I want to be a nurse or a teacher. And how lucky am I that I've got to do both. What a blessed life. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is our student representative to the governing board. Mr. Andreessen, are you going to do the introductions for Faith? He's like,
Sure, I can do that. I think it's a great opportunity to provide an opportunity for Faith to take on this this assignment. I think that she'll do a good job. Faith Oswald is a great student here, also a great athlete, and is very involved in the school. And I think will be a good representative of the school to the board and be able to provide the board with the information that they might want to know about things that are going on here at Chester High School. So I'm very confident in her abilities, and glad that she was able to accept the position.
good, thank you very much. What was the part I told you about? Okay, we can stand up. I've known Faith since she was a little girl, so this is cool. Okay, this is the part where we're going to reverse all this. And just be going up and up. Okay. So then you just do this right here. Okay, and if someone take pictures of this, I can send them to our parents. Okay, so I, Faith Oswald, do solemnly swear
I, Faith Oswald, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations. And now Faith's going to give us a little update about what's been going on here at Chester High School.
My name is Faith Oswald. I'm a senior here this year at Chester High School. I think that a big part of our school this fall especially has been our sports programs. Both volleyball and football have started very successfully. Our volleyball team is 10-1 right now, and our football is 2-0. I also think that a big part of that is the community that we have around us and being a very loving community to our small school. I think another important thing is the personal learning abilities that we get here, and I think our teachers do a very good job of giving us that aspect that we may not have at a larger school. Yeah.
Oh, clear. Now, this is an opportunity if any board members have any questions for Faith about what's been happening here at CHS.
How are your classes going? Do you feel like you have what you need for your senior, right?
Yeah.
To get to graduation in terms of what your career goals are after this?
Yeah, I definitely think that especially our business and finance class and Miss McNeil, who's taken that over, I think that's a very important aspect in preparing us for our future and getting us ready to leave high school and enter the outside world. And I think along with that, all of our other teachers do a very well job of not only teaching us educational material, but material that will be important in the world outside too.
How's your senior project going?
It's going.
What's your project on?
I'm doing mine on real estate with Lori Rogers.
Oh, good. Good.
What are your plans for next year?
I hope to attend a 4-year college and pursue a career in medicine.
You?
Awesome. Awesome. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is our public input. And I have 3. First one is Jace. Hello. Go ahead and come up here.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Jace Falk and I'm a freshman here at Chester Junior Senior High School. I would like to speak today about the dress code and why I think we should be able to wear hats in the hallways and in the cafeteria. I believe that hats are a part of who we are and we should be free to express ourselves. By wearing a hat, it can open up new conversations with other students that we may not normally talk to. Whether it be about our rival sports teams or being a fan of the same team, or just to show our school pride in wearing a hat that represents our school sports. I would also like to point out that we do not get to go outside to change classes. During passing periods, we are in the hallways. I feel that as long as we don't wear hats in class and they are not a distraction, the hallway shouldn't be a problem. Thank you guys again for your time.
Thank you. Okay, next is Daryl Hutchins.
Hi, Daryl Hutchins, PCTA board. I'm going to follow you guys wherever you go. That was one of my commitments this year. So my plan is to be at Portola next month, and then I believe it's Greenville, and then it's Quincy. So you'll see a lot of me. I want to first of all say thank you to the board and to Bill for having the owl here. I'm looking and there's like 9 or 10 different people who are on the YouTube. But a lot of people feel strongly being able to have the access to these meetings. And I got comments from teachers how thankful they were that you guys did what was necessary to create this. I know my wife has an appointment at 5 and she's driving from Portola to the appointment by 5, so she won't be on, but I'm appreciative of that. The second thing I'd like to say is I'm thankful for the relationships that I've been able to work out with Bill and with Christy and with some of the board members, and I'd like to get to know the other board members as well. And then finally, because I want to honor your time, Leslie, in a meeting today, she asked, why did I become a teacher? And I have to ask the question, why did I become PCTA president? And I love my teachers. And one of the things that I do as president is I get a lot of emails. And in those emails, I've been comforting teachers. I've been providing solutions. I've been looking into issues, trying to be a problem solver. And over again, if I were to say I think 50 emails is probably accurate. 50 different things I've been working with, probably 45 of them had to do with money. And so I know money is always a sensitive issue. And I know that you guys have a lot on your agenda with a district and all the competing issues. And I'm just thankful for what you do. And I just hope at some point that we would, in fact, be able to see a raise for this year. It's tough, but a lot of teachers are looking in that direction. So thank you for your work. I know there's just a lot of competing issues, and I appreciate the work that the board is doing. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mahaffey.
I'm Sean Mahaffey. I'm going to be the negotiating chair this year. But
But first, because I really don't have anything to really say, I just want to say, sometimes you watch the news and you see kids and you're like, right, but then look at these wonderful people we have. This young lady, this young lady, this young man. So I'm just procedural tonight. I'm just going to say PCTA wants to open section 6, class size, section 11, wages, and section 12, health and welfare. So, just want to say.
Okay. Patty, any additional public comment received? Okay. All right, thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is our facilities. Lisa, Measure B.
Measure B. So we do have an updated Measure B proposal list with our placeholders that we had available at the most recent one we got was at 3:30 today. So we do recommend you take a look over at the right hand side. Everything is within the projected budget amounts as already approved. We do have a couple of placeholders that will potentially need to come either to ad hoc or to the board depending on the timeline. One of the things that we are looking for is Bill and I are communicating with CRM specifically about some changes in where the budget is at Quincy High School between the HVAC project and the paving project. It looks like HVAC is going to come under and paving would be over. So we're looking at whether we would recommend bringing that to the board as a shift in just where those dollars would be. It still remain within our projected. I did attach the Measure B overview, the summary page on there. I thought I'd attached everything. Only the first page got on there, which does have where we are right now, which is about $211, not $211,000, not specifically allocated yet within the bond. And then about 1.3 million in reimbursement funds. So that 1.5 is our cash contingency that we have at this point in time. And at this point, we are asking for approval of the updated list, and then Bill will have some updates for you on the Chester Elementary project.
And just confirming items number 5 and 16, you want to go to ad hoc? Okay.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Any questions on the Measure B?
I'll move to approve.
Oh, thank you. One second. All right, thank you. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, next is.
Do you want a brief construction update
Um,
on CES?
yeah, I was gonna do,
It's your meeting, you tell me. when you
yeah,
want.
that, let me finish the resolution for
Oh,
CES and then we'll go
Okay,
right after that.
that's
How's that? Okay, so the next item, are you taking this one too?
I'm taking that
Okay.
one as well.
All righty.
And so the CEQA exemption, essentially because of the minor alterations that are happening with the modernization project at Chester Elementary, there's not really a change in footprint or in usage of the facility, so it does qualify under a categorical exemption, and we are requesting that the board make that finding this evening in form of the resolution so that we can file that. Have that be included in our application process.
Any questions on the resolution?
We'll move to approve resolution 1613 for the exemption.
Thank you, Jolene.
I'll second.
Thank you, Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very
And we'll
much.
sign those. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Roderick, the update on CES.
Okay, so on CES, if you go by, you'll notice every morning they take the plywood down because they framed in the doors and the windows to the front of the building for the admin office. So they open it up every morning, they close it up every night. Our project manager is working very hard to mitigate through issues as they come up. There's been nothing that is extremely costly at this point, so we're grateful for that. Thank you to Mr. Corey for a suggestion 2 weeks ago in the owners meeting to switch the emphasis away from finishing the admin office first and putting the focus on the student restrooms with an effort to get those online before the snow flies so we can get the portable restrooms out and not have to put a snow load structure over the top of them, which will save us money as well. Last update, Kevin Nolan has said we are on track for a finish prior to Christmas. Our supply chain is the issue. If items get hung up, that will be what slows us down, but they're moving forward every day. So it's good. Project's going well.
Okay. Anything else?
Lots of dust and noise, we love it. It's not good for the classroom, the kids focus, but it's a sign of progress. So,
All right, great. Okay, any questions on the CES project? Alrighty. Thank you very much. And the next one is yours, the Frontier Tower Agreement.
So if you recall, on the back of the Greenville campus, right in the middle of the playground, there's the big temporary Frontier Tower. And the permanent tower that was going to be placed was going to be west of that, right in the middle of, just right in the middle of campus. And we had some parents concerned and also just the fact that it's a tremendous eyesore. So we've been working with Frontier, and the proposal that you have, it's an amendment, it's amendment 1 to the contract. And it places that tower squarely in the northeast corner of the football stadium, as far away on our property, away from classrooms as we can. And then there will be an access road put in along the fence line, also completely at the expense of Frontier. To accommodate this, they need the tower on our campus because no one else is owned that can handle it. So they were very easy to work with on this project. And with your approval, I will sign it. And I think the tower will be up by Thanksgiving, and the temporary will be down before the snow and ice come. So that is the plan. Frontier is ready to move forward. So asking your approval for that.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Dave.
Second.
Thank you, Leslie. All those in favor? Aye.
Hi.
There you go. All right, on to the fiscal portion of our agenda. Lisa, I'm just gonna let you run with all of these. How's that?
Okay, all right.
Your name's attached to all of them. All righty.
So we will start with the PUSD audit report. And I have attached the executive summary. If you noticed, the draft audit report is attached to the agenda just due to timelines and trying to get those finalized reports from the audit firm. We've had a significant delay and have had multiple extensions granted by the state. And they've been working with us as well as our auditors to be able to get through this. Now, this is for the audit for the year ending June 30, 2021. So this is right in the height of the pandemic. And then during the time where it was for us to be able to work through all of the audit items is when everybody was displaced with the Dixie fire. So there's been multiple issues that have contributed. And so I did put in a summary as to what the findings are for. These are not our typical normal findings, and they are specifically related to the pandemic operations. Another thing to note is that the county of Plymouth, where all of our finances are processed through, they were also going through a changeover to their financial system and had some difficulties in operating in a timely manner. And so that's kind of exacerbated some of our issues. So the amounts that are included in the summary are the correct amounts. The amounts that are in the draft audit report, they've been cleared. So it's the difference in there. So the original finding for accounts receivable and those items were, it was just under $1 million. It's actually $450,000. That is not a penalty. It is a restatement. So essentially we had some receivables that were booked. And then when the money actually came in, it was recorded as revenue rather than offsetting that receivable. So that is just a restatement. No, like I said, no penalties. There's not anything as far as that. It just had to do with the communication and not everybody being on site together. And so that one, we will see an adjustment in our books. The second one is related to payroll accounting, and again, that's just because of lack of being able to provide the documentation during the Dixie fire. We don't have any concerns that there were actually any issues with payroll. The finding in the area of attendance and distance learning, this is specifically related to the requirements that were put on teachers during the pandemic, during the 2021 year, where they were required to essentially account for every minute of instruction of every day and what they assigned, and then going back and assigning the time value to what was completed. And the instruction was provided, the assignments were provided, documentation was not completed in all cases, and that is actually resulting in a penalty of about $283,000 specifically for the distance learning documentation. We will be, based on our conversations with our auditors, we will be applying to the state for an appeal to have a waiver of that penalty. So we'll see how that comes out. A lot of districts are facing the same issue. We have that same penalty, that same finding on the county side, but there's not a penalty associated with it due to the whole harmless finding of the county office. So completely different circumstances. And then we do have a repeat finding, which is the less than 55% for classroom salaries. And that is especially exacerbated due to the one-time funding with COVID. There's not an exemption for that. So it really throws it even more so than in the normal year. We are requesting approval of the audit in its revised format, and unless there are any questions.
Are they, for the audit ending 2022, are they going to come in person, or are we still
They
going to?
are coming in person in November, so it's normally we would have them here in September,
Right.
after we basically close our books, but again, we're still delayed from all of the impacts.
Okay.
With staffing in our office and with the auditor, our auditor's office as well. They've had the staffing challenges as well.
But yes, yeah. So the uploading of documents, will that still, are they still going to require that, or are they going to be physically taking, because I know that can be a challenge.
It can be, and so we're doing both.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we upload what we can, and then they physically inspect
Okay.
the other things. And it's a lot easier when they're on
Yes.
site, because we can have that back and forth conversation and pull and look at, they can explain if there's something that they're looking for that we're not understanding.
Okay. Perfect. Any questions on the district side of the audit?
I appreciate your time.
Yes.
Talking through this with me and others, I believe.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you are seeking approval of the audit report. Okay. I'll move to approve that. Thank you, Jolene. Thank you, Leslie. All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you. The PCOE audit report is informational only for the board. Same, as I said, same issues and findings. The adjustment on the balance for the county is just under $8,000. That was originally at $150,000. Again, one thing that I don't think I actually said, it's in my report, which is that some of the payments to us were delayed by more than 2 years. And so that's when you have the confusion with when the receivables versus a revenue. Any questions on the PCOE audit? The next item is our consolidated application reporting system, so our CON-app for both the county and the district. This is, we're just requesting ratification for the applications so that we can qualify for federal funding. Questions on the CON-app?
Thank you, Leslie. Second. Thank you, Jolene. All those in favor? Aye.
They're fund transfers. These are our resolutions that we do every year, which just provide us the ability to transfer between funds for cash flow purposes. Obviously, we have a lot of programs that are on a reimbursement basis. As I said, it did take us 2 years to get some of those funds. So sometimes we have to move and shift some things around. We are just asking for approval from the board to approve this annual resolutions for transfer.
It's broken
These
apart
are-
by PCOE
yeah.
and PCOSD.
I would-
As resolution,
As-
yes,
Yes.
please. Thank you.
I'll do the first one, which is the resolution on the county side.
Sure, I'll move to approve the county resolution 2223-02.
Thank you, Leslie.
Second.
Thank you, Dave. And we should do a roll call on this one. Edlin.
Aye.
Klein. Aye. Keller.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
We'll move to approve
Thank you.
resolution 1611.
Thank you very much.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor, Klein.
Aye.
Edlin.
Aye.
Keller.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Very much. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. One more for me.
One more, Lisa.
So Northern California Schools Insurance Group, or NCSIG. I am the representative on the board, as is Bill, or an alternate, but essentially we had to update our bylaws as the insurance group, and now they also need to be brought to each of our boards, the entity boards, for adoption as we update the bylaws. So we're bringing those in, recommending approval for both the county and the district.
So is this the one we changed the number on because this is 1611 as well?
1612.
So basically 1612. Should be 1612, okay. All right, I'll move to approve PUSD resolution 1612.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Klein, I was gonna do roll call real quick. These are getting, when they're both on the district and the county side, we're doing them together, they get a little confusing. So, Klein,
Aye.
Edlin,
Aye.
Keller,
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Now, that was on the district side, now we'll do the county side.
I'll move to approve resolution 2223-01.
Thank you,
Second.
thank you very much. Klein,
Aye.
Edlin,
Aye.
Keller,
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Okay. You got all that?
We're good.
Okie dokie. Next item on the agenda is looking at our policy revisions.
Okay.
I just want to thank you, Patty, everyone else is working on these resolutions. We're trying our hardest to keep everything up to date, and they change all the time. So thank you so much for the work that you guys are doing and bringing these forward to us. So are there any, we'll take each one of these individually. Any questions on, or any comments?
Just give you a quick rundown. The 9920 governing board elections, that's an update based on us moving to area trustees. So that is, that's a required update to make sure our policy is aligned. And even though these are on here as first read updates, as long as you don't have questions, you can approve and we can finalize this tonight. Number two, updating policy titles. As we've switched over to Gamut Online, we have policies that are titled one way, and the same policies in Gamut or very similar policies are titled another way. So what we're doing is we're matching them up so it's easier to locate our policy. And the titles are changing, but it's our policy that's in there.
Okay.
So we're lining up with Gamut there. And then the policy deletions, these are policies that are no longer in effect due to changes in law and regulation. And then updating policy numbers again is being done to align with Gamut Online. So our public and our staff can more easily access our board policy.
Okay,
So that is the long and short of those four.
okay, thank you very much. So we will start with B1, which is BP 9220 for governing board elections. Are there any questions on that update?
I'm trying to find it again. All the parts of that one that have been stricken, those items then are answered somewhere else. For example, the part about filling vacancies or the term are
Yes.
strike out, so does that mean it shows up somewhere else?
Yes.
It's been changed to align with the current CSBA legislation, what they have changed to.
And so much of it refers us back to local policy.
Right. Put you back. Okay, then I would move, do you want to do them all four or one at a time?
Just do them one at a time.
Okay. Then I would move to approve bylaw 9220 regarding governing board elections.
Thank you, Jolene.
So,
Thank you, Dave. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Right.
Next one is updating policy titles. I'm looking for an approval to adopt the recommended CSBA titles for the policy listed here, for all the policies that are to be renamed.
I'll move to approve those as well.
Thank you, Jolene.
Second.
Thank you, Leslie. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Policy deletions.
I'll move to approve.
Thank you, Dave.
Second.
Thank you, Leslie. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And the last one is updating policy numbers.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Jolene.
Second.
Thank you, Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. We've got minutes, the last few board meetings. On June 22nd, we need to, I think we have to take these separately. I'm pretty certain.
Yeah, we did.
We do.
For people in
Yep. So on June 22nd,
I'll move to approve those minutes.
thank you, Jolene.
No second.
Thank you. Thank you, Dave. All those in favor? Aye.
Abstain.
Leslie abstains. Thank you very much.
I'll
And
move
July
to approve
13th.
the minutes from the July 13, 2022 board meeting.
I actually have a question on these.
Okay.
It says vote not recorded on MOU. And it's not a question on that. This was the MOU with Plymouth Charter School.
Is it recorded at the next meeting?
I think it was the
Yep.
next
I would have to go back and review. I think we did delay it for more information and then we approved it the next meeting.
Oh, okay, so that's what vote not recorded meant. I wonder if there's a better way to
You
say
could
that.
change it to postpone.
Those,
Okay.
oh, yes, that would be. more clear.
With that change, I will move to approve.
Thank you, Jolene.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And August 10th.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Leslie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, service contracts. Lisa, are you taking this one?
I am taking that one.
Okay.
The PCOE contract list is there for information only. We have had to bring in some extra assistance with our staffing shortage and additional things to be able to get books closed. And then capital advisors, that is actually our single district counties have banded together because we are so different than all of the other 52 counties in the state. We have a lot of very unique challenges, and so Bill actually went to they had a little summit this summer, and we were all gone. He had to do it himself, but they did work with capital advisors and decided to form a consortium. Essentially, PCOE is the lead, so we will work directly with capital advisors, and then we will bill each of the other counties for their share of the services.
The purpose is for them to lobby on behalf of the singles as a single voice to express our needs to the legislature and the policymakers.
Any questions on the county? District list. Just want to make sure that I'm clarifying. So the first item, the True North Psychology Center, this is right now, with us not having really great internet in Greenville, as you know, we're very limited with bandwidth. There are options for therapy, for assistance for students and staff it's very limited, more so than normal. And so we have services already with this organization for our special education students, for our IEPs. And so this is just expanding so we can have some on-site support while we continue to try to recruit actual physical employees. And then also once we get internet really up and going, telehealth will be available as well. So that's a not to exceed amount on there. We don't think that it will actually reach that additional.
So what does that look like at the school site? Is that students requesting this, or is this like,
That's like what
a small group assemblies, or what is?
it's essentially if people need somebody to talk to, if they are struggling with some social emotional support, just like our SSCs and our behavioral health therapists, it's essentially offering those same type of services. Specialists. So there's that. We do have, so Comer Communications, we had an issue with our UPS, so our backup basically in server in Greenville. It was blown essentially because of the Dixie fire. We have submitted it to insurance. Hopefully they will consider it as another item to be covered. If not, we wouldn't be reimbursed for it, but it is a necessity that we have that replaced. And then the other is with E-rate, we did during COVID, we were able to obtain or order a lot of wireless access points. They were not here in time to be actually installed at the same time that we had the work done for the fiber installation. And so they have to come back to redo that work, to do that portion for us. So it is an and that it can be, it was part of our COVID plan and would be covered under those infrastructure plan dollars and such.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Any questions from board members?
You need approval?
Yes,
Then
that's
can we do them both together?
First,
county, you don't have to do. County's information only, but the district is.
And I move to approve the contract, the service contract that's provided.
thank you very much.
Second.
Thank you, Dave. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next item is the check register for August. Any questions on that?
I'll move to approve the August check register.
Thank you, Dave.
Second.
Thank you, Leslie. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next item, field trips. It's so nice to see field trips. Looks like some fun trips.
Yeah.
Forestry camp, yes.
I'll move to approve.
Thank you, Leslie.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jolene. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and last item on the consent agenda are our donations.
I'll move to approve.
Thank you very much, Dave.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jolene. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Again, thank you to everybody that provided donations. We appreciate it. Okay. We are now going to be moving into closed session. And right over here? Okay.
To the right.
Okay, thank you.
I'll have it all boxed up.
Hello, Mr. Andreessen, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, I came on the first day, but you were crazy busy. Nice morning. I saw Miss Whalen.
What?
And then, to come back, or hard to come back.
Oh, really?
No?
Good.
Good.
To start it back up, and it's a giant tank. By the time we get it up, we'll be done.
Okay.
So it's a no? Continue breaking it down? We're gonna break it down? All right. All right, this is your, do you want to stay plugged in?
Yeah, I want to
Okay.
say stuff like this. Still staying plugged in.
Not a problem.
Everything else would Yeah, this should be fine.
That's what I see we need to do.
Oh, I wanted to give you a hug. That was almost brought tears to my eyes. We're so proud of you. We are too.
I know he's like your son too. Huh? Yeah. He just lets go.
No.
He's having good.
Yeah.
My son.
Thank you. Smoothing it over.
Yes.
The box is down there. We want to make sure that we wrap the alley back in line. And if you help me, it's not your first rodeo.
But it's just gonna put it inside because this is. Right here.
Oh, yes. And Bill can bring that back. The other stuff, if you put the other stuff in the box, we'll load it in my car. That way I don't have to worry about somebody knocking it over. That way I have to take responsibility for its well-being.
So, do you mean you don't go to closed session?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, here, let me get it all.
I pack up with me.
Okay, well, let me help you pack up. So what are we doing about our other member? Because this is the piece that comes with everything too.
Can you? Okay. So I don't know if she can hear. Jody, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Yes, we're going to turn off this laptop and I'm going to pick you up and they're going to pick you up again during closed session from someone's phone.
Perfect.
Okay, so they're going to head down there. They'll be back with you in just in a few minutes.
Sounds good.
Okay, that way nobody else has to deal with it.
How did you like that down? I was like, I thought you were. I wish it would have stopped. Did you see all the light and stuff?